Hello and welcome to my review of CloudyG3 version 1.2. Please check out my CloudyG3 version 1.0 for the full long review of this ROM. I'm going to try and keep this one short. We are going to talk about how it performs in day-to-day operation as, again, my daily driver, and we're going to talk about some of the differences between 1.0 and 1.2. Obviously 1.0 was the first version that came out, and there's been a lot of fixes since then. Maybe you're on the fence about using this ROM. One, it's a great ROM. Two, there's this nice, either you're a fan or not, of the G3 aesthetic. This new flat look here. Also included in 1.2 are themes. There are Tahiti themes that are bundled with this. I've been using the blue clear one for the longest time. And this is set at 400 DPI. You want to see this nice smart notification widget here. It is included and it works. It's functional. Most of the time it's only good for a verbal recap of the weather or what you should wear, but there are times it does chime in with some useful information, and I look forward to LG adding more to it later. Also, you have the conveniences of Q Remote, Q Slide, Split Screen, Quick Remote, and Q Pair all working with this ROM. You also have the ability to natively hide your navigation bar in applications. That's a very useful feature. You'll see here, there it goes. I have it set so it hides in XDA, and that is built into the ROM itself from LG. Thank you for listening to your users. Also, you have the ability to remove your brightness sliders and your volume sliders without using exposed. However, I have found some issues with that if you let exposed take it over, as it conflicts with what you find in the settings here. These two don't work. So, I mean, this works here, but they conflict with each other when you try and use the ones from here. And I'm not going to do it. It's going to force crash. I have produced a log cap for it, and I'm going to upload it. Art support works. It's been reported by other users as working. You get some nice camera improvements and some simplicity to the camera application itself. You get the built-in split screen, as well as the ability to put a button down here in your navigation bar for quick access to it, and it does work. As well as not code for all. I did test not code. The trade-off with not code for all is you lose double tap to wake. So either you want double tap to wake or you want not code, but you don't get both. And if you're a fan of lock screen notifications, then not code might not be for you. Maybe the old school method of implementation, where you could double tap to wake and then use it as a security feature, might be more your route. And I have not found a way to do it that way as of yet. However, I really haven't spent a lot of time on it. So continuing on, what does version 1.2 have that 1.1 didn't? You have some FM radio fixes. By that it means it includes the G2 FM radio application as a workaround right now from CloudyFA. You get the camera zoom fix. There were some users experiencing issues when trying to zoom and take pictures. Wi-Fi hotspot fix, however, for me, this is not fixed. I will check the form again because there was something else to flash. And quite honestly, I went on vacation and I really hadn't had time to play with this. However, I would have expected, since it says in the changelog that's fixed, it would be fixed. I guess that was a misconception on my part. Maybe it's fixed for some users, but it's not fixed for me. I'll show you what I mean. There we go. It turns itself right back off, and it never actually engages. As you see, there's no icon up here at the top. Also has quick window fix. I do not own a quick window case, so I could not test the quick window feature. There's a shortcut to the LG Health in your app drawer. PC connection option is there now, and there is an auto panel detection, which is very nice. What that means is that during the installation process in your ROM installer, it's going to check the hardware of your phone and determine whether it's an LGD or an JDI panel, and then flash the appropriate kernel. It takes all the guessing work out of it and flashing afterwards to prevent yourself from getting the black lines. What else can I say about this ROM? You can add the G Pro 2 camera to it, or the G3 FM radio if you wish to try it out and see if you can get it to work. There are users who prefer the G3 FM radio application over the G2 FM application, and they are able to work with it without any issues. And so it is available for you to download in the form. Just scroll down past the changelog, past the screenshots, and there you'll find that. As well as in the frequently asked questions, you will find a place where you can download the kernel that comes bundled with this particular ROM. So if you want to flash back and forth, you can. Other than that, there is some information in, I'll go ahead and pull it up for you so you can see exactly what I'm talking about, since I'm talking pretty quickly here. Let's scroll down, see if I can't find, there we go. And obviously you're getting a chance to firsthand see here how scrolling is in the ROM. Do not judge though, because I do have my settings turned down for battery, as I've been trying to get the most battery out of here. You'll find the KitKat baseband if you need it. Keep scrolling down, keep scrolling down. You got these nice little screenshots here. Keep going down. Okay, here's frequently asked questions section I was telling you about before. There, click on this link here and you'll get the kernel. Keep going down. Click here, you'll find out how to fix your LTE issues. Click here for the quick remote repository, or instructions on how to set up your quick remote. And then right below that is that G Pro 2 camera I told you about, and the G3 FM radio. So check it out. It's right there in the link below. So let's talk about kernels, okay? Right now I'm on the Dormax kernel. I did test the Cloudy kernel, and those are the only two kernels that I tested. To note, not code works with both. So no issues there. I was going to test simple kernel, but there was a lot of people reporting that the D800 did not work with the not code, or they couldn't get the phone to double tap to wake, or not code to wake. There were some problems that were reported, and I just didn't want to test it because I was on the road on vacation, and that just wasn't very conducive for me. I didn't feel like working with that. I was trying to spend some time with family, as I'm sure you can understand. So real quick, let's go through the settings in this ROM. Really nothing else to add to it from the 1.0 version, but I'll briefly show you how to change your view real quick, because I get asked that a lot. Simple as long press your recents, pulls your menu up, change it to the conventional view you're probably used to. This is set at 400 dpi, so it might be a little bit harder to read, but all these settings are pretty much the same. I can't recall seeing anything that was different per se between this version and 1.0. Also, keep in mind that the smart charging here will trickle charge your battery. It will take a long time to charge your battery, but it'll be a better charge for your battery. With the Dormax kernel, you get an application called S-Tweaks, and there are some advantages to the Dormax kernel. There have been some improvements. I'm not on the latest. I am on, and I had this pulled up earlier for you for that reason. I'll quickly pull it back up for you again. I am on version 3.4.97. 9.8 is out, but I didn't have a chance to test it. Again, I was on vacation, but from what I've seen so far, I like it. It's a good kernel. It allows for the GPU to be underclocked so that if you're just reading, it can ramp that down, which it's not using anyways, and helps save some battery life. It's highly customizable. It automatically installs this application called S-Tweaks right here. It'll automatically be installed on your phone, and again, right now I've got this set up for some battery saving. It's not like ultra conservative by any means, and actually it looks like it reverted some of my settings from when I was doing earlier benchmarks. So we'll come back over here and change this yet again. Alright, and change this down here to On Demand Plus, your touch boost, and you can read all these. This is a very nice feature of this particular application, is that it gives you the information you need to know exactly on what it is doing, okay, and what you are changing and what those changes will actually in fact be. Here's your CPU hot plug, max cores all online. I got that set up because I do play some games, and I have noticed that when I do the 2 cores I do see some choppiness, and then minimum core is 1 core online. There are people who actually prefer to do 2 cores online, and you can give that a try if you want to. Here's your GPU settings here. Again, this is a very full-featured application. I have to do a whole video just on this alone. Here we go. Again, some of my settings aren't saving here, but as you can see, tons and tons of optimizations. I'll do a video just on this application in the Dormax kernel alone later. Alright, so these are our battery tests and benchmarks. There are a couple screenshots in here to show some issues as well. First thing we're looking at here is our first day on the CloudyG3 version 1.2, and this is with the stock provided kernel. 9 hours, 9 minutes off the charger. So it's still got 4 hours and 22 minutes of use left. You can see it's pretty steady, pretty regular usage. 3 hours and 6 minutes of battery of screen on time. I would probably venture to say we could have squeaked it out to 5 hours pretty easily, just looking at how it's being used there. And here you'll see some wake locks. Early on, I'm always trying to look at these and figure out what's going on. I did have some issues where occasionally I would lose my icons and turn these little gears, and it even happens on the app drawer icon. I did report it. There's some other users who were reporting the same thing. It comes, it goes. Not a big deal. It's kind of annoying. Reboot the phone, it fixes it. Here's another drain down test. This is again on stock kernel. 28% battery life left. 19 hours and 37 minutes off the charger. You can see it's pretty steady there. I scroll back some more so you can see it's pretty steady usage. 2 hours and 42 minutes of screen on time. So that's not very impressive at all, but still might make it to 5 hours, but it'd be close. And what I noticed is that this Bluetooth, for whatever reason, it continues to try starting the OBEX map transaction, which allows it to share text messages to the head unit and My 4 Touch. It just keeps the phone awake and drains the battery down. So I've been trying to figure out how to fix that. This is just going through some ST tweaks. Here we go, another quick example of what was going on some of the things I've experienced here. 56 minutes of screen on time. I got 60% battery life left. And we're looking at 19 hours and 30 minutes off the charger. Again, 60% battery life left, and I only have an hour of screen on time. Here we go. This is Google Play services. That was the only real wake clock I could see there that was at the top of the list. 17 hours, 0 minutes off the charger, 11% battery life left, 4 hours and 47 minutes screen on time. This is with Duramax kernel, okay, with the current version I'm using right now. So that's really good. I could have, just looking at this, I was really trying to kill this guy, and then I kind of slipped off a little bit. Probably could have squeezed out another 45 minutes of battery time, of screen on time, sorry. And here are the wake locks for that one. Again, Bluetooth, it seems like it connects and it just doesn't want to stop with that OBEX map service. See, there it goes again. Let's see, this is just a quick example of how quickly I can get it down to 82% with only an hour, or almost an hour screen on time. And again, this wake lock was just Google Play services. The audio mix is something I'm fighting in the Google search. And here we go, 13 hours, 0 minutes off the charger, 1 hour, 59 minutes of screen on time, and we're at 59%. So, again, this is looking like we're on course for another 5 hour screen on time, which for my usage is not bad at all. It's pretty good. This is what you get with the stock provided kernel, 34,964. Here you go. Quadrant, and I'm going to stop doing quadrant because it doesn't seem like they're updating anything here. Look at what they're matching you up against. It just doesn't seem like it's going to be a very effective benchmark. So we'll disregard that. This was on the Duramax kernel, and I did it again, and I'm showing you it's on the Duramax kernel. Okay, I was kind of concerned about what was going on here, and what I found out was that it didn't save the settings that I had, and it had my conservative settings. So on my conservative settings, to try and preserve battery life, I was at 29,645. On performance, 34,950. That's right up there with the Note 3. So pretty impressive. And the Galaxy 5. There you go, 34,950. So all in all, pretty impressive numbers. Battery life could be better, and I do have to say that I think that 1.0 did have better battery life. I may have gotten better battery life on the Optimus G3, but I think that a lot of it had to do with still learning Duramax kernel. There are a lot of changes that you can make to that kernel using the application that you saw earlier, ST tweaks. So there are definitely going to be ways that you can inch more battery life out of it. Free memory. I know what you're going to say, free memory is wasted memory, but it usually hovers around 857, 800, and sometimes 900 when you're not using too much on the phone, but after using it for a couple hours. And other ROMs I've noticed there was like possibly some memory leaks because it would be getting in the lower 200s and 300s. I haven't had that problem with this one, so obviously there have been some fixes and some work being done behind the scenes to eliminate wasted RAM or memory leaks in keeping your unused RAM, which again I know you're going to say unused RAM is wasted RAM, but some people do care about how much RAM they're going to have to use. It seems like that has been fixed. I do think that was an issue in some earlier versions. The read notification light works just like it did on 1.0. I did not test ART, but I can report from other users it's working. Same performance with My 4 Touch as before, except for the map protocol sticking, which is something I didn't have before. I still get my text messages, still handles A2DP and metadata, no problem on both the My 4 Touch and the Kia Uvo system. It streams music flawlessly, sounds good. GPS works fine, I had no problems. This is a very fast, very slick, super responsive ROM. I can't say enough good things about it. I'm a very big fan of the flat look of this ROM versus the G2 based ROMs, or even the G Flex based ROMs. Speaking of G Flex, I did test Google Play Music, and I do not get that annoying issue where it stops playing the music over and over again, and you have to skip to the next song to get it to play. So that was nice. I am using G3 Tweakbox. Okay, I have the paid version here. There it goes. To really customize this ROM, and if you don't know what G3 Tweakbox is, check it out. Very useful application. Very, very glad to have it. That's why I paid for it. So let's do a power on test real quick. There we go. We'll let that go. While that's going, to talk about the form. Well, let's talk about this phone first. There was a user who reported the fact that he charged this phone plugged in overnight under his pillow with his head on top. Let me tell you something about Snapdragon 800, folks. Not just this phone, but any phone with the Snapdragon 800, it gets hot. It's a hot processor, and especially when it's charging, it's already producing heat. Please don't do this to your phone. It's not good, and it's no wonder he was having problems. And I know he was saying that it worked fine on the stock LG G2 ROMs, but I think he was just asking for trouble. And you do see the animations do work on the main screen, on the lock screen rather. Just don't do it. Be cognizant of heat. I've said it before, and I can continue to say it again. Heat is an issue, but if you're conscious of it, it will not destroy your phone because you won't get that far. MMS and SMS application stock work, no problem. I didn't have to change any APNs at all. Please check out the forum. I'm not going to talk about how long it is because it's useless. It's growing way too fast. And please search because there's tons and tons of things posted in the forum that have been addressed over and over again. Please remember when you're installing this ROM to use the unmodified KitKat modem for your phone or flash the Cloudy baseband. Aside from that, I cannot complain about this ROM. It's been a very solid performer. I even took it on vacation with me where I did not have a computer to revert back to in case I had issues. So obviously I trust this ROM very much. The only crashes I've had have to deal with some settings, mostly right here. I'll go ahead and show you. If you try and adjust this, there you go. And that's what happens. So I just reproduced it for you. I hope you found this video useful. It's a great ROM. I try to keep it short for you. I don't know if I accomplished it or not. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it. If you have any questions, please ask. I do keep a baseband backup, and I can go back for you and test.